Hey there, how you all doing? So good to be talking to you again. Hey, how many of you out there caught last night's 77th annual Golden Globes Award? Can you believe they've had the Golden Globes now for 77 years? That's a little hard to believe. Now, I tell you, this show is not like the Oscars and all these other boring Hollywood shows have been for the last, 3 or 4 years, where people get up and on their political soapbox and they just make it so boring and not even entertaining the audience. Let me tell you, last night, the most entertaining part of the award show was the host, comedian Ricky Gervais. Now, I don't know a lot about this guy, but he has hosted the Golden Globes Award and been notorious for doing so for the last 5 years. Now, last night he was really, he really let it rip. I mean, we're talking here about the PC police. He was really politically incorrect, but you know what? It made for a very entertaining show because it was not another comedian getting up there on his political soapbox and just kissing ass to all the political Hollywood elites. I mean, he ripped them a new one, and if you saw the opening monologue, you will know what I mean. He basically told all these politically correct people, hey, don't think you're so special. And you know what? If you win an award, come up here and give a speech. That's great, but you're not really any better than anybody else. So just don't think you're anybody special. Be telling any of us what to do. Now you can imagine all the talk that went online last night after the awards show was over. You can imagine. I mean, this award show was talked more about than the Oscars. The Oscars have become a very boring thing. And here's an interesting thing. One of the people in the audience was none other than Robert De Niro. Now, I like Robert De Niro as an actor, but over the last 3.5 years since Donald Trump has been president, this guy has become a buffoon. All he does these days is he's on TV more talking about dropping F-bombs and bad mouthing the president of the United States, people in the media, like on The View and all these Hollywood elites, they praise him for bad mouthing the president, and they prop him up for dropping F-bombs on TV. Now, if Donald Trump was to do something like that, or somebody that was deemed, politically incorrect, what would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. They say, oh my God, look how he's talking. Just like when this host Ricky Gervais, he was really letting it rip, and he was telling these people what he thought of him, and he went out of his way not to be politically correct. And man, you should have seen the looks that some of the people in the audience were giving this guy. They were shocked. They were outraged. You could just tell. I'd say about 50% of the audience either loved Ricky Gervais or they hated him. And this guy, I guess, is going to be his final year doing this. I guess his contract runs out after 5 years. So it'll be interesting to see who they get next year to host the Golden Globe Awards. But I guarantee you one thing. Next year's show is probably not going to be half as interesting and fun as this one was to watch. That's just the latest edition of the PC police. And I'm so glad that Ricky Gervais decided to entertain the crowd last night and went out of his way not to be politically correct. Great job last night, Ricky. Talk to you all later.